Oh, boy. Don't go too far, Michelle.
Yes, sir.
Autumn, Miss Sullivan is back there chomping away on her gum. Why don't we do a PBT while we're waiting just to see what we got this morning?
Okay.
How do we do, Autumn? The gum was the tip off. This is file 23308 SD. Paperwork of Alexis Page Sullivan. Ms. Sullivan is here with her lawyer, Rhonda Ives. Apparently it's not our day. Just as I was coming into the courtroom, probation agent Autumn Kiefer advised me that the defendant appears to be intoxicated this morning.
No, that's not correct.
Oh,
She has
okay.
previously come to court.
Okay, I thought you meant she was intoxicated now. No, I remember the other case, and I gave her contempt, and then we came back again. I do remember that. She is a young woman that is struggling. So, all right. I misunderstood. As I indicated, we passed in the hallway just as I came in the door, and you had the PBT in your hand. So, have you met with her this morning?
I have not.
But you'd like to do a PBT before?
Only if the judge wants it. I brought it prepared just in case I needed it.
Let's do it. We just did the last guy and found out after he got to jail that he was over the legal limit. So let's do a PBT and see where we are with Miss Sullivan. Step out of the hall.
Twenty minutes later.
We're good.
All right, then we'll go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and finish Miss Sullivan. That's good. All right, Miss Bennett, we'll come back to you in a minute. All right, that's very good news. I was quite disappointed, but it wasn't founded. All right, Miss Sullivan pled to operating while intoxicated. As Autumn indicated, she had appeared on a previous occasion and was intoxicated here at the courthouse. So we backed up and tried again. She, for as old as she is, which is only 23 years old, she is really struggling. So Rhonda, what would you like me to know?
Well, I first need to correct the assessment on the narrative page. It says she's a 23-year-old unmarried female who resides in Sturgis with her boyfriend. She's actually living in Howe, Indiana at a motel with her boyfriend. She also indicates that she is confused about being on bond. She said she was never on bond. I mean, I don't know how that could not be the case, but she said she never got arrested the night of. They just took her to the hospital and then took her home. And then when she appeared here in court, she had been given a jail sentence for showing up intoxicated, a 10-day jail sentence. So I'm not really sure what the status of her bond is. So that I would just ask the court to clarify that for her.
Oh, let's take a look. She might be right. I think you're right. I don't see anything regarding a bond here in the register of actions or in the on base.
Well, the issue came up because usually when you're on bond, you can't leave the state of Michigan. And so I was giving her that caveat, and she said she had never received some bond paperwork. So that made me wonder.
Well, according to this, she was in front of Judge Pattison at a 267, and she was taken into custody. And this is another one. I don't know. Judge Pattison had been dealing with it, and then I ended up with it. I think maybe it's because Judge Pattison was gone and I inherited a bunch of his attorney pre-trials. in June. I think that's what happened. And so these cases got shifted to my side. But there is no bond. So thank you. Go ahead, Rhonda, or bond conditions.
Okay, very well. Well, just to correct the report, she has been living in Howe, Indiana with her boyfriend, not in Sturgis. She does seek mental health treatment, as she does have a lot of issues on board. I know that the last time she had done a jail sentence, it really it was very upsetting for her. I don't know as if she's ever spent any lengthy period in jail. You have?
Yeah.
Okay. It's been a while. Okay. I know that you know, she doesn't want to go back to jail. Can she do a term of probation? I don't know. I mean, I think she would like to try to get through a term of probation instead of doing jail.
In-person meetings too when I already went.
Oh, okay. She indicates she's doing in-person AA meetings. Where are those at?
First Methodist Church in Sturgis. It's at 6 p.m. Thursdays and Fridays and noon on Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Okay. Well, she's actively trying to maintain involvement in AA, so I think that speaks well on her behalf. But I definitely, you know, I don't know if she's as concerned as the court is, but I know that she definitely does not want to be in this situation ever again. But I think that alcohol is one of those things that you don't really know how bad it is until it gets bad and it gets the best of you. And I think that's what's happened to Miss Sullivan, that it has already gotten the best of her at her young age.
Miss Sullivan, are you working someplace?
Yeah, I work at McDonald's in Sturgis.
Okay. This case does have a strange posture because you didn't get, just like Mr. Aniqua, you didn't get taken to jail. And so you actually came to the court March 23rd and you asked to confirm your court date. And your first court date was February 23rd, excuse me, March 23rd. So between your arrest for this and your court date, you got the disorderly person charge.
She's got a disorderly person charge pending, Your Honor?
No.
It's already been
Oh.
taken care of.
That was on March 7th. And so you came in here on February 23rd. They gave you a court date of March 23rd. And you were not on bond. You came in on March 15th and pled guilty to that. And I gave you a fine. You came in front of Judge Pattison on May 12th, and that's when you were intoxicated. And then I saw you. So it's your first offense. You did not violate any bond conditions because you didn't have any bond conditions. In fact, you hadn't even been arraigned yet when you got the disorderly, and you were quite intoxicated then. Living in a hotel is very expensive. So what else would you like me to know?
I saw that I was charged in May 10th of 2022 for disorderly conduct, but that's physically impossible as I was living in Illinois at the time, and I wasn't even in the state in May.
That, I don't think that's right.
Yeah, no, that's wrong. And so
Well, no, you got the thing from Judge Pattison on May 12th, but your disorderly was in March.
I think she's talking about the May 10th, 2022, disturbing the peace that's on the.
Okay, well, let's look.
It was a 21 case, disturbing the peace, 7/8 of 21.
Darn it.
Looks like they actually just closed entirely because the restitution had been paid in May of 22.
Malicious destruction of building and disturbing the peace. 37 days, credit 37 days. You were in custody in July of 21. You pled no contest to disturbing the peace, and I gave you 37 days, credit 37 days. So I actually spoke to you.
She recalls that now.
All right, and the 4 was a home invasion. It was bound over to the circuit court at about the same time. So those are accurate. Then the disorderly person was March 7th, So it appears the report is accurate. She was here in the jail and we had a polycom conversation and she resolved things. All right, so she's working, she's doing some treatment. It's a first offense. She didn't violate any bond conditions. So does that alter your recommendation, Autumn? You're just recommending flat 93 days jail?
No, the bottom of my recommendation is 24 months probation.
All right. Oh, 83 days deferred. I got you. All right. I had an oil judgment. I agree. We certainly need a probation. I sort of inherited a couple of these cases, but I don't mind. I used to do all the last pretrials, so I got all the cases at some point. But I'm going to do 24-month probation, which means you can be on probation for as short as a year. I'm going to follow Autumn's recommendation, 93 days jail credit 10, giving 83 days to serve. But of the 93 days, 83 are deferred. You're not going to do any more jail time if you do what I ask you to do. I got a bunch of jail hung over your head, but if you cooperate and do what we're trying to accomplish here, you won't do any additional jail. We're going to do alcohol testing as directed, which is probably going to be 2 times per week. Also drugs. You're old enough to smoke marijuana. If we do a test today, will marijuana be in your system?
Yes.
Oh, it's legal and you didn't have any bond conditions. As of now, you won't be able to use marijuana. Will anything else be in there?
No.
All right. We'll find out. Substance abuse counseling and treatment is directed, including 12-step meetings, and you're going to do the victim impact panel. You need a probation. I think everybody in here agrees with that. And I'm glad that my initial chagrin of you being intoxicated was misplaced and that you're 0-0 today. And you're doing some AA. Which one did you say you were doing? Presbyterian Church?
First Methodist Church in Sturgis.
All right. All right. Good luck to you, man.
Thank you.
3 months later.
Anyway, we're back. We've got several things going on. We have probation violation arraignments. We have Alexis Sullivan, and Miss Sullivan will be with you in just a minute. All right. Okay. All right. Autumn, Miss Sullivan is back there chomping away on her gum. Why don't we do a PBT while we're waiting just to see what we got this morning?
Okay.
Thank you. How do we do, Autumn?
You're not going to be able to arraign her, Your Honor. She's a .111, admits to drinking vodka yesterday, using methamphetamine a couple days ago.
All right. Don't go too far, Michelle.
Yes, sir. I'll put in my.
All right. Alexis, would you come up and have a seat? This is file 23308 SD. Alexis Sullivan is here for an arraignment on a probation violation charge for continuing to drink alcohol while she's on probation for operating while intoxicated. Alexis is 23.
Yeah.
She has the worst alcohol problem of a 20-year-old that Autumn and I have seen in quite some time. She was here on an earlier occasion. She was a .243. She's here today for bench or probation violation arraignment. The order says she should take a test upon demand of any police or probation officer. According to Autumn, she's presently a .11. So you're over the legal limit. You're too intoxicated for me to even arraign you. How'd you get here?
My boyfriend dropped me off.
All right, he's not here.
No.
All right, well, I'm gonna have you taken into custody. I find that you're in contempt for showing up intoxicated. You're also in violation of your probation. We'll reset this for tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock.
I'll be in the front. Probation violation?
Yeah. Bond canceled. The gum was the tip off.
Well, and actually, she's hasn't tested. She's refused to test since September. That's the allegation for the violation. And then
Well, and as you said,
she switched it to meth.
yes, she switched her addiction from alcohol to methamphetamine. It's like going from bad to extremely worse. She's a nice young woman, but she is not doing well. We have not got at the reason why. And the reason why is I believe she has significant childhood trauma. On cancel, continue to tomorrow. We got plenty of time tomorrow at 8. We'll say 9 o'clock for PV arraignment. Defendant to sober up. Oh boy. She's so young to be so messed up.
The next morning.
Good morning, everyone. We're going to address Alexis Sullivan, who was here yesterday, but was intoxicated. And now that she's sober, we can conduct the probation violation arraignment. Good morning, Ms. Sullivan.
Good morning.
This is a revisit to Alexis Page Sullivan. I asked Mr. Stickley to come in. He's our chief public defender. He was in the court next door, and I asked him to come over here for this arraignment. Keith, this is a probation violation arraignment. Autumn Kiefer is here with us. Alexis is a nice young woman with one of the worst alcohol problems of a 20-year-old that I've seen in my career. She was here yesterday for a probation violation arraignment, and she was a .1111. So I couldn't do the arraignment because she was legally intoxicated. So I found her in contempt and lodged her overnight. And presumably you haven't had anything to drink since I saw you yesterday. She's not malicious. She just can't help it. But I don't know what to do with her. So let's go into the case, and we'll start with the arraignment that we were going to do yesterday. The original ticket was from February of 2020. She was arrested for operating while intoxicated and no license in possession. She was placed on probation for 24 months, and I'm not sure what that date that began, but Autumn filed a probation violation petition alleging that she has violated probation by continuing to test positive, and then we're very troubled this month, well, in August, she tested positive for methamphetamine. Then she was a no-show on 9/1, 9/7, 9/13, 9/12. So Autumn filed the probation violation petition, which alleges that she violated the probation that she was placed on July 10th for failing to abstain from the use of alcohol or drugs or submit to a test upon demand of any officer. Well, she did take our test yesterday. I had sentenced her to 24 months probation, 93 days jail, credit 10, and I let her out. I deferred 83 days and held them over her head. and wanted her to participate in treatment. And I was very troubled, and Autumn is, that we're transferring alcohol addiction to methamphetamine addiction. Autumn's recommendation, as she shared with you, is that I give her the 83 deferred days of jail. But as you know, under the new statute on probation, you're supposed to use intermediate steps, and for a technical violation, we're supposed to start with 5 days and continue. That doesn't mean the court doesn't have discretion, but I'm concerned for her safety and well-being. Autumn, how is she doing in the other areas of her probation?
I have not received an assessment or updated treatment from Pivotal since the end of September. So I have, initially they wanted her to complete IOP level, and she had stated that she was unable to complete that level of treatment. They were supposed to do outpatient therapy. So I'm not even sure if she's been attending that. She reports, but it takes me a few days to get a hold of her. And as stated, she's not testing, claims that she constantly can't pay. Well, if she's not.
Well, if we had her in treatment, we could pay for it, can't we?
Some of it, not all of it.
So Alexis, the allegation is that you violated your probation by consuming alcohol or refusing to test, up to and including yesterday when your breath test results were 0.11. You have a right to have an attorney to represent you in this matter and have a hearing on it. You don't get a jury trial for a probation violation, but you're entitled to have a hearing where it must be established beyond a preponderance of evidence that you violated your probation. And then the question is, what do I do as a sentence? You could admit to the violation and then we can figure out what happens next, or you can plead not guilty and I'll appoint an attorney for you and set it for a hearing.
I'll plead guilty.
All right, let me ask you a couple of questions. Anybody think you to get you to plead to this
No.
or promise you anything other than what I just said?
No.
All right, where are you staying?
Patriot and in the house.
Do you have any source of income?
Yeah, I go to work.
Where do you work?
McDonald's.
All right, you're still at McDonald's.
Yeah.
That's one positive that's going on in your life. Which McDonald's are you at?
The one in Sturgis.
It's very expensive to stay at those motels. How much are you paying to stay at the Patriot Inn?
$336 a week.
Holy moly. That's like $1,500 a month. You could get a nice apartment for that. What support system do you have? Do you have any family here? Are you sharing the room with anybody else?
My fiance.
Does he help pay the rent?
Yeah.
What you really need is to be an inpatient someplace. I don't know what to do. What I would like to do is get updated information from Pivotal on what's going on with
I
your.
just sent him an email.
All right. Our fear, Autumn and I discussed this yesterday, and if I let you out, you're just going to drink again.
No.
Well, you say that now, but if it was that easy, you just quit. And so it isn't that easy.
Your Honor.
Yes.
When I went to jail yesterday, at first I was like, okay, I'd rather do the jail time because I wouldn't have to be stuck paying a bunch of fines and everything, but I'd do anything to stay out of that place.
Well, I can deal with the fines. I can erase a lot of them. I can alter them. You're on probation, so the judge has the authority to alter or amend the sentence. This isn't about money. It's about trying to get you into some sort of recovery, because I'm not sure how you get through every day with the amount of alcohol that you drink. There's an underlying cause of why you drink like this, which is what I was trying to get at and help you get at to address it. But it's awfully presumptuous of some old guy like me to tell a 23-year-old, hey, you can't drink anymore, or your life's gonna be one of unhappiness and dissipation. Somebody told me that when I was 23, I probably wouldn't have listened very carefully either. So I'm not mad at you at all. I'm just concerned. And Mr. Stickley came in here completely cold, but he does know the probation violation rules under the statute that changed several years ago. And as I said, I have discretion to do what I want to do. But if I just give you 83 days in jail, it'll keep you safe and the public safe for 83 days minus good time, but it won't do anything to deal with your issues. So Autumn, I know your recommendation was 83 days and nothing happened yesterday to really improve things. Is there anything else you wish to add?
I understand that we can't jail someone into sobriety, but we've done nothing on this probation. She told me beginning of October that on the 12th that she was thinking about turning herself into a mental health facility. Unfortunately, right now, it's just all talk. So at this point, I feel that if she's pleading guilty, I appreciate that she understands that she has violated this probation. I feel she needs the deferred time. And while she's in there, we can get her set up with Lisa Onatelli, and she can possibly get some help that she needs, and we can get this ball rolling to her recovery. Otherwise, I'm afraid that if she gets out, she's going to drink herself to death.
Mr. Stickley, I do appreciate the fact you're here on short notice and you're not actually representing her. You're here in an advisory capacity, but do you have any thoughts on this?
I do, Your Honor. Off the record, I mean, we have talked, even though it was, coming in a bit cold, and it's obvious that she needs help, and what form of help that she's willing to do, I guess, is the big question. She doesn't want jail. She told me that. She's told the court that. And it is super concerning, obviously, when the addictions change into something different like methamphetamine. I would ask, if any way possible, knowing that the court does have discretion and it is a technical violation. I'm assuming that this is the first technical violation. I haven't had. No, it's not the first technical.
No, she showed up once in court. She was a 243.
Okay, so we're on number 2 then, I guess.
Or yes, at least.
So I think we're in the range of, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think 14 or 15 days on a second technical. Maybe if the court was inclined to impose a jail sentence, maybe a sentence within those technical guidelines of perhaps 15 days would maybe allow her to sober up enough or have some clean time enough to readdress maybe the possibilities of some other kind of either IOP or inpatient. I'm always nervous the day after somebody comes in and they do have a BAC, as you had mentioned, right? We don't know maybe exactly how clear that they're thinking.
Alexis, when did you last talk to anybody from community mental health?
I haven't talked to him since September, because the whole court thing, I kept thinking I was going to have court next week. Then it got moved, and then I had car issues, couldn't go to Three Rivers and drug test twice a week. Could barely get to work. It was just so stressful.
Well, and I understand that the logistics of testing are difficult for people that don't have a lot of money and don't have a lot of resources. When I was prosecutor in my earlier years as judge, I made a significant effort to have a testing site in Sturgis. At one time, we had a day reporting center, pretty vigorous. We had a couple of people there, and we had a testing center in Sturgis for people from Colon and Burr Oak and Sturgis that was easier to get there. And then it got diminished, and then we used some money to set up a little testing thing, and then we had it just for women, and then it just collapsed. And the day reporting center is much, much smaller than it was, but it's in Three Rivers. So we may, in the future, I don't know where we're headed, but at one time we had testing in Sturgis. It's also gotten considerably more expensive If you're in treatment, we can pay for some of it. But my biggest concern is you need community mental health or other treatment involvement, or nothing's gonna change. You're gonna do 83 days in jail, you're gonna have a drink on the day you get out because you're killing the pain without addressing what's causing the pain. On Monday, October 30th, I have 3 young women, 2 of whom will probably come into sobriety court. You could certainly use sobriety court, but you're not eligible under our guidelines because you don't have 2 drunk driving convictions. So I'm not saying, hey, go get arrested for drunk driving again, and then I'll put you in the program. You need that that's the best I got, is an intensive supervision with Autumn, with treatment, with support groups like AA or NA or Celebrate. Meet with me, you're in our private group. And I got a letter from a lady this week who was in my sobriety court program 12 years ago. She's still sober. She's still going to AA, and she wanted me to know about that. I got an email yesterday from one of my sobriety court guys who emails a couple times a month, telling me it changed his life, and not only his life, but all 5 people in his family's lives. So you need something like that rather than just jail. As Autumn says, we've learned you can't jail somebody into sobriety. So I'm going to set this for sentence. I want to get more information from CMH. You're probably going to lose your job, which I'm sorry about. If you're in jail between now and Monday, even if I let you out Monday, you may lose it. If you get 14 days, you're going to lose it. I'm not concerned about you losing your room at the Patriot Inn because that kind of housing sucks. It's $1,500 or $1,600 a month, where if you could get a legitimate rental, it would be considerably cheaper than that. But, and certainly if you get 83 days in jail, they might hold your job for you. I'm going to be busy, but there's some people you could also meet that are in the same boat as you are. I think I might be bringing 2 sisters into the program at the same time. All right. The technical violation would be at least 5 days. I'm going to set this matter for sentencing for Monday, October 30th. We're going to get an update from Community Mental Health. But if you don't want to do it, I'm not going to make you.
No, I do.
All right.
I don't want to go back to jail.
All right. Well, you think about it for a while. I'll talk to you on Monday. All right. You're good to go.